are tuned into AG Marie TV. So, I'm super excited for this video. I've been had this idea floating in my head for a while. I'm saying idea like it's about to be so innovative, but it's not. So this is a first time in a long time reaction video. So this is not a first time watching so and so video. I've watched this before. In fact, this video I've watched probably 200 times, and but I haven't watched it in a long time, probably because I have watched it 200 times, but it's been a while. It's probably been a couple of years since I sat down and watched this. We are about to watch the Nicholas Brothers and Cab Calloway and his orchestra perform Jumpin Jive from the 1943 film Stormy Weather. One of my favorite movies, top 5, absolutely. You can see I'm getting excited because it's easily one of my, if not my favorite musical moment in cinema, captured on cinema. It's nothing tops it for me. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Again, this is not a first time reaction. This is a first time in a long time reaction. And before I get deep into it, I'm gonna have to hit pause a few times. And I know people don't like that when people are watching reaction videos or doing videos. In case you don't know, if nobody's ever told you, the reason people have to do that is for copyright reasons. And then I'm also going to be talking, and I would love to share my little stories. So, all right, thank y'all. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Let me dig this jive once more, boy. Right on down to the gate. Oh, boy. Gotta dig time and gate.
All right, real quick. Sorry. This saxophone player on the right, absolute favorite, because you'll see why. I will explain why. At some point, I need to get the names of everybody in Cab Calloway's orchestra. Cab Calloway is another one of my favorite entertainers. And I know when we think about Jumpin Jive, we think about Stormy Weather, we particularly think about this scene, we think about the Nicholas Brothers. The Nicholas Brothers are the stars of this sequence. But Cab Calloway's orchestra, they definitely hold their own. Like, everybody in this scene is just phenomenal.
Can't you hear those hepcats call? Come on, boys, let's have a ball. The jim jam jumpin', the jumpin' jive makes you dig your jive on the mellow side. Hep hep, hip hip. The jim jam jump is a silent.
Also, another thing that I love about this scene, and this is something that I got a little bit older, and when I started kind of studying film in school, I more so study like the history of film as opposed to like the technical side of it. But the shadows, I love the cinematography in this scene. Everybody's shadows on the wall, on the curtain, is just very beautiful to me.
Jive makes you 9 foot tall when you're 4'5". Hep hep. Hep hep.
And if you are into that kind of thing, another good piece of black cinema to watch is Black and Tan Fantasy, starring Duke Ellington and Freddie Washington and Duke Ellington's orchestra. To me, another beautiful piece of cinema. So Stormy Weather, this moment in Stormy Weather, technically, I think at this point it's supposed to be set in the 1920s, late 1900s or 1910s. You know how they did in old Hollywood movies, like the movie could be set in 1895 or 1900. If it's made in the 1940s, everybody's dressed like it's the 1940s still. So I do think there's still some element of particularly when it comes to classic black movies, particularly movies with all black casts. If you watch Hallelujah, The Green Pastures, Stormy Weather, Cabin in the Sky, and I think it kind of stops by the time we get to Carmen Jones. I'm thinking of something else. I can't think of it. There's another movie that I can't quite think of. There's a lot of use of shadows. Short films too. There's a lot of use of shadows in a lot of classic black cinema.
Now don't you be that inkaroo, get up, come on, and then you follow through. You get your study full, you make up the joint and jump like the gators do. Jim Jam jumping to jumping jive makes you like your eggs on the Jersey side. Hip hip, hip hip, the Jim Jam jumping jive makes.
Really quick, I want to point somebody out to y'all.
You have on the map.
So this lady, y'all can't see me point. I'm about to point to the screen like y'all can see me. The lady on the left of the screen with the flower in her hair, that is Vivian Dandridge, older sister of Dorothy Dandridge, and sister-in-law to Harold Nicholas.
Now I've told you about the jumping jive. Jim Jam jump the jumping jive. You got to dig this mellow jive. Yes, yes, you dig it on the mellow side. A boodly 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 boy.
Okay. Can you imagine being an extra in not only in this movie, because this movie is amazing, but in this scene? The few times I did when I was younger, I used to always ask, why did they not reshoot this and tell him to stop, to chill out? But then I remember watching a documentary later and actually reading too that Nicholas Brothers, they filmed this. They said they filmed this one time. They did this whole thing and they were just like, we're not doing it again. So I can imagine they were probably just like, we can't tell this saxophone player to chill out. I was sitting here just like, is that a saxophone? We can't tell him to chill out, and the Nicholas Brothers are also not filming this again, so it's just gonna have to stay. Imagine being in the movie theater when this came out and watching this for the and I always wonder if I honestly cannot tell you the first time I watched this. It's one of those things. Here's a little thing. If you didn't grow up in 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I kind of grew up, I'll put it this way, my memory remembers, I recollect things from mid-90s to early 2000s as far as like nostalgia and growing up. I'm not one of those people like, I'm a 90s baby and I don't miss stuff that went off the air when I was like a baby. Like how people, I'm born in 1992 and I'll see people who are born the same year like as me like, oh, I miss a different world. It's just like, it was off the air when we were born. Like you missed the reruns. That's what we miss. But there was a point in time, and I know a lot of people already know this, when nostalgia was like the name of the game for a lot of cable networks. Regular network channels, but cable, as far as like BET, VH1, MTV, Turner Classic Movies, obviously, TBS, TNT. I would say more so TNT than TBS. I can't remember a lot of classic, retrospective documentaries or film on TBS. Lifetime, they kind of show so many classic things, movies, television shows, classic moments, documentaries, specials that were dedicated to nostalgia, and they show these things so much that it was kind of embedded in your memory, in your mind, in the fabric and the fibers of what made you. And that's more so speaking for like a lot of American people, of course, or people in the West. And so, for example, I'm, of course, like I said, I was born in the 90s. I was not there when Gentlemen Prefer Blondes came out, but there was such a reverence for historic pop culture throughout the 90s and 2000s, like I said, in the 80s. You didn't have to be alive when Marilyn Monroe was alive to know Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. So you might not have known the song, but when you see the pink dress and the blonde hair, you know what you're watching. And this scene for me was a part of that. Now, was it as popular as like a Marilyn Monroe scene or an Audrey Hepburn walking down the whatever street in New York to stand in front of Tiffany's type of thing? No, it wasn't. But I do remember there are flashes of me being a child seeing this at some point. But yeah, I'm always wondering, like, what was it like? Can you imagine going to the movies for the first time and seeing this, and also looking at these steps and like knowing like they're about to do something on these steps? Imagine having to do this whole routine and keep a smile on your face like that. I don't I don't want to be one of those people, but I'm gonna say it. They don't make them like they used to. Oh my god, I would kill to see something like this in a movie again. Like I'm sure there's some independent filmmaker somewhere who's recreated this or recreated something similar. But I would love to go to a movie theater and see some current entertainers doing something like this. And I know people still tap dance, and I don't think tap dance is a dying art. I know that somebody out there, a lot of people out there are still doing. They're still swing dancing. Like, it's not popular. People are still Lindy hopping. I subscribed to a Lindy Hop group a few years ago. Never went, but like there's like a class. I don't even think it was in the city that I live in. I was just like, in case at some point in my life I wanted to start doing this, I'm gonna subscribe to this group. But I would just love to go. And then of course I am a screenwriter, so maybe I can write something like this one day. So yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on anymore. Let me know what y'all think, and what's your favorite movie musical moment? Because this for me is it. This is the top for me. So let me know yours.